Hey guys! So today we are going to work again on really working on those questions that are text dependent and require us to go back into the passage and really make sure that we're looking for our evidence. So to start off, I'm just going to go over our anchor chart again that I know that you guys did with Miss Garrett last week. So how do we provide text evidence? So first of all, of course, we have to read the text first. And then, if you look right here, you can see that we have to answer the question using prior knowledge and inferencing. So that's that schema that we already know, and then make that inference to answer the question the best that we can. And then we have to go into citing evidence in the text that supports our thoughts or our opinions on what we think that the answer is. Okay, and then lastly, but super important, we have to explain our answer with evidence that we got from citing by paraphrasing or directly quoting. So this ACE method really builds on each other. You have to answer it, and then you have to find that evidence that supports it, and then you have to explain it by showing the quote and or paraphrasing, okay? So I'm going to model for you guys about how we could do this. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to read a passage, and it's called "The Dog Didn't Eat My Homework." So first I'm going to read it out loud for you guys, okay? I've already read it one time in my head. Now I'm going to read it out loud because it's always good to read 2 times, and reading out loud can help you sometimes too. So, the dog didn't eat my homework. It would not hurt, Cody thought, to take one last look at his report on Benjamin Franklin, which was scheduled to present after lunch. He had worked hard all weekend on those 4 pages and even practiced reading it aloud to his big sister Karen. Searching through his notebook, he realized the red folder was gone. Cody rifled through his stack of books, trying to make no noise while Catherine was presenting her report on Thomas Edison. "Are you okay?" whispered his friend Chelsea, who sat in the desk opposite. "I can't find my report. It was in my red folder. Have you seen it?" Cody muttered back. Chelsea looked around and shook her head. "Did you leave it at home? Or on the bus?" Cody felt a lump in his throat build. He had taken the report out and looked at it on the bus, making sure he had it. Had he set it on the seat behind him? He'd had the seat all to himself. The only person near him had been the annoying new kid, what's his name. If Cody had left it on the bus, it was that kid's fault for distracting him. He'd offered Cody gum. He'd tried to show him a baseball card autographed by his favorite pitcher. He'd told Cody that he had a really great climbing tree in his backyard and invited him to come over sometime to check it out. He seemed desperate to be friends. He even trailed after Cody when the bus dropped them off at school, calling, "Hey Cody, wait up!" Cody had pretended not to hear him and walked a little faster. "What seems to be the problem, Cody?" asked Miss Smith. "We need to give Catherine our attention." "Sorry, Miss Smith," Cody said. Chelsea shook her head at him. He was sure the folder had been in his backpack. It was the first long report he had ever had to write. Miss Smith required 3 sources and had been really careful to cite them correctly. As quietly as he could, Cody delved into his backpack. It contained only a few pencils, rattling in the bottom. "What can I do?" Cody asked his friends between presentations. "I can't find my report." "She'll think you didn't do it," Chelsea said, laying her own report about Frederick Douglass on her desk. "But I did it." "Really?" Cody's friend Travis said with a grin. "And it just vanished? That's so lame." "Cody! Cody!" came a loud whisper from across the room. It was what's-his-name, pointing wildly up at Miss Smith sitting at her desk. What was this kid's problem? Cody ignored him. "You could say your dog ate it," Chelsea said. "Mungo really does try to chew up your books." When Miss Smith called on him, Cody was unable to say anything, even a lie. He stood up and went to Miss Smith's desk, hoping he could whisper some excuse. "Oh, and here's your report, Cody," said Miss Smith. "Tristan Jenkins said he found it on the bus and turned it in to me. He said he tried to give it to you." "Tristan Jenkins?" Cody said, picking up his precious red folder. He turned and saw what's-his-name smile and wave. "Thank you, Tristan," he said aloud. "You totally saved me." Cody would not be forgetting his new friend's name again anytime soon. "So now that I've read this whole thing, second time around, I am going to go to the questions and I'm really going to try to use the ACE model to help me answer these questions. So let's look at question 1. Based on the text, what character trait best describes Tristan? Okay, well, I need to think about who was Tristan. Well, Tristan was the boy that Cody called what's his name. So I'm going to go back up here, and it really talked about Tristan right in here. That's when we finally figured out what's his name. We figured out what his name actually was. So it says, Tristan Jenkins said he found it on the bus and turned it in to me. He said he tried to give it to you. And then he saw what's his name smile and wave. And then he thanked Tristan, and he said that he totally saved him. So if you totally save somebody and you turn somebody's work in for them, would you be mean? I don't know. I'm not going to mark it out though. Would you be annoying? Not if you turned in somebody's work. Maybe earlier in the passage Cody thought he was annoying, but the character trait of Tristan, his true character trait, not really annoying. Kind. I think that's really good because it says that he found it on the bus and he turned it in for him, so I could definitely keep that one. Or funny. He didn't really do anything funny. I mean, the best answer here would be kind. And so I answered it, and then I have to go back and cite my evidence. So my evidence would be right here where it says Tristan Jenkins said he found it on the bus and turned it in to me. He said he tried to give it to you. And then I'm going to explain it because I'm going to directly quote that. Like if I had to directly quote something, that's the part that I would directly quote. Let's look at number 2. Why did Cody get in trouble with his teacher? Because he lost his report? Because he didn't complete his report? Because he was not being kind to Tristan? Or because he was not paying attention to Catherine? Well, I think I know what the answer is, but let's see. So because he lost his report. Well, he didn't really get in trouble with his teacher because of that. Because he didn't complete his report. Well, he did complete it, so that wouldn't be it. Because he was not being kind to Tristan. Well, he wasn't being kind, but his teacher didn't really know that. Or because he was not paying attention to Catherine. I think that one sounds really good. So now I'm going to go back and try to cite it, okay? So let's go back and look and hear where he wasn't paying attention. So, let's see. He was looking through his book bag, and then it says, what seems to be the problem, Cody? Asked Miss Smith. We need to give Catherine our attention. Sorry, Miss Smith, Cody said. Chelsea shook her head at him. So right there we have our cite of what the evidence is. We have our evidence, okay? So then I'm just going to explain it. That would be me explaining it. I would quote exactly what it said. We need to give Catherine our attention. If we go back down here, he wasn't paying attention to Catherine. So which of the following does not show that Cody worked hard on his report? So which one does not show that? He practiced reading it aloud to his big sister Karen. It said that in the passage, that he did do that. He had to be careful to cite 3 sources accurately. He was careful, he talked about that. He had worked hard all weekend on those 4 pages. Well, I know in the text it said that. Or he realized the red folder was gone. Well, that doesn't really show that he worked hard on it. That's just like a thing that happened to him. So it would definitely be that. And you can go back and see where he did all of that. It says that he practiced reading it aloud to his big sister Karen, and that he had worked super hard on it because he had never had to do a paper so hard before. So I can cite and explain all of those by directly quoting from the text. Alright, let's look at the last one. Which quote from the text supports the fact that Cody was feeling worried when he couldn't find his report? Okay, so now all of these are directly from the text. So let's see. Cody felt a lump in his throat build. That one sounds really good, but I'm going to read my other ones too. He had taken the report out and looked at it on the bus. That's not really worried. That would make him feel more confident about himself. I can't find my report. So that could be a choice. Or he stood up and went to Miss Smith's desk. He could have been feeling worried, but at that point I think he was over that. I think the best answer here, if you feel that lump in your throat build up, you're really worried. And that really supports Cody feeling worried. So you guys can see how I use the ACE model to read the passage and then answer the questions. So today, you guys are going to be reading a passage about the westward expansion and answering questions related to the text. Your I can statement is that I can read a passage closely and answer questions about the text. So here's our anchor chart, so you can look back at that. And then this is just like you guys did last week with the World War II passage in Google Classroom, the Social Studies Google Classroom. You're going to go and find the westward expansion one. And each one of you will have which one highlighted that you need to do. I know that's how we're doing it for Miss Whitford and Miss Garrett's friends, okay? So for our friends, the one that you need to do will be highlighted, all right? So don't forget, if you have any questions, make sure you ask. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye, friends.